Hello and welcome back to Lord Fenton Gaming's Don't Panic series. I'm your host Lord Fenton. In today's Lord Fenton Gaming's Don't Panic series, we're going to go ahead and tackle on Divinity Original Sin 2 Definitive Edition. As always, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more Don't Panic videos just like this. And do not forget hitting that notification bell so be updated and more. So you're down all your armor, all your magical armor, you're panicking. I do not know what to do. I'm about to die. Yeah, Alice is about to fry me. Help! What should I do? Do not panic. Help is on the way. I'll guide you with some of the steps in character creation, how to move around, and basically how to survive in Divinity Original Sin 2, the Definitive Edition. So let's go ahead and get this started. First thing you want to do when you actually do want to start out this game is actually select your difficulty mode. So you know what? We're going to go ahead and do this right now. Now you're on your way to definitely go ahead and start your game. You can do single player, multiplayer, play with friends, load your campaign up. However, I'm going to go ahead and touch on every single one of the difficulties. Now, Explorer mode, this is like your second lowest tier difficulty. Your enemies will be much more weaker. Things will be much easier for you, definitely. Yeah, and also I heard that prices are better in shops. Classic mode, this is like your standard difficulty. Nothing changes at all. It's like middle of the road. You definitely want to start out with classic mode or explorer mode. Now, tactician mode, things will get harder, enemies will get definitely buffed up, battles will be definitely different, so be on guard. Now, also in tactician mode, you can select regular or honor mode. You're asking, what's the difference? Well, honor mode is like this. Yeah, your party wipes out, kiss your save files goodbye. That's right. So long, see ya, you don't want to be ya. Now, the last one I'm about to show is story mode, where things are a lot more easier. I am serious. Much more easier. So you're asking, what mode should I actually start out with? If this is your actually first time you're playing an RPG like this, or an RPG in general, I'll probably say start with story mode, explorer mode, or classic mode. One of those three. If you want a good challenge, then I would probably say is classic mode, or definitely try tactician mode. You're a new player, I'll probably say stick with explorer mode or classic mode. So this way it won't be way too easy or way too hard. So for the next section of the video we're going to go ahead and talk about is character creation. Now, for the next part, character creation, you have two choices. You could go with one of the origin story characters or make your own custom ones. Do not panic if you pick an origin story character and of course you're thinking, oh, I'm stuck with this skill set. No, the presets are there for you. If you want to be a tank, go ahead and pick something like a fighter. If you want to be an enchanter for slinging spells, go ahead with that. If you want to use ranged weapons, do that too. There's so many combinations you can do in this game and do so many damage. I'll touch up on those in a separate section of the video, plus some combinations I'll suggest. So we're going to go ahead and go through the origin characters. We're at the Red Prince. He could breathe fire. That's one ability. Another ability, when he's able to use source magic, is to drain magic armor from one foe and give himself that. That is actually pretty good. Next up is Sibyl. Flesh Sacrifice gives her 1 AP, which is very nice at cost of your con per round. And the Shackles will get rid of some debuffs. So I'm going to say she's really good in that department since she's an elf. Now, Ifan Rally, it's like a nice buff. And also is Wolf, yeah, you get a pet. Now, if you're like a ranger or something like that, or a summoner, that's really good too, combination with him. Now, Beast has Petrification Touch. He'll turn someone into stone. They'll receive X amount of earth damage. Also, this will depend on magical armor. Blinding Squall is like air attack. Very powerful. It depends on magical armor too. I'm going to go ahead and talk about the next person, which is Losha. She has a rally just like Ifan. It's like a nice buff. When she gets a source ability, that Maddening Song is really powerful. So if any foes without magical armor here's this song, they go berserk against each other, and it's a nice in a pinch. Now for Feign is play dead is like a feign death, and if it works, yeah, in other words, they'll ignore Feign thinking he's dead, he's toast. Now one of the most powerful abilities I read recently was Time Warp. So you target a certain character, they get like a free turn. This is like a nice in a pinch. Really useful. Just search the words feign and time warp and you'll see some results. Now we're at the custom characters. They'll get Beast's petrification touch because he's a dwarf. However, all the custom characters gets a nice barrier ability for their source skills. So let me explain about that barrier ability. They get protected, they get some physical armor and magical armor regen until that barrier is gone. This is like really powerful. I got through so many encounters with that. In fact, if I was in a pinch, I pop that baby and voila. Now the elf ones, they get flesh sacrifice, same as Sibyl, extra AP, that doesn't hurt at all. It's actually pretty good too. Now as for humans, they get a rally ability just like Ifan and Losha. It's like a nice rally buff. And let me go ahead and go get the next one. Now custom lizard, they get the dragonfire, same thing as Red Prince. That probably gets more powerful as it levels up. And they get the same barrier protection. Now the undead custom characters, they get play undead. That's my only disappointment. I kind of wish they would get time warp, but oh well. Still, Fane has to be unique and special. Now your gender, it really doesn't matter much at all. In other words, there's no 100% female quests or 100% male stuff. Nah. And you will definitely do. So my advice is either play origin character if it's your first time, or if you want to be in control, pick one of the custom ones. So I'm going to go ahead to the next section of this video. Now that you pick your character, you want to play either a custom character or origin story, and plus what role you want to fit in, either being a caster, tank, or somewhere in the middle, or someone with a bow and arrow, or plus 2 daggers. So we're going to talk about the attributes in the game. So I'm going to go over every single one of them and give you all my thoughts about it. So let me go ahead and select that right about now. So let me see here. First of all is strength. More strength you have, more melee damage you do. You carry more things. You can equip certain heavy armor. This is like a nice stat for your frontline fighters. Either with a two-handed sword or sword and shield will help with that too, to a degree. So I'll probably say if you love meleeing, yeah, go for some high strength. Now finesse, that is more for your rogues and your ranged characters. So if you're like holding 2 daggers, yeah, finesse is there too. Also, you do more finesse. You do have more finesse weapons you do damage with, which is really good too. Plus, it gets your dodge up too. So if you like that. Now, intelligence, this will boost up your magical skills like hydro, pyro, arrow, even necromancy. Yeah, so if you plan to become a caster, slinging spells in the back, this is the attribute you want, is intelligence, to max that out right away. Next up is constitution, gives you vitality, aka hit points. Also allows you to equip shields too. So if you're going for a sword and board tank, well, you should probably do constitution, then strength. You'll be really powerful frontline fighter for sure. Now let's go down the list. Next is memory. Now more memory you have, more skill slots you get to have in the game. So in other words, high memory means that you have a lot of skill slots to do. I'll probably say put a few points into that. Just don't go too crazy on it. Otherwise, yeah, you'll hamper yourself end game. Last but not least is wits. This will increase your critical chance. For anybody that's doing DPS, magic, melee, or something like a bow or arrow, it's very good to have that. What's my final advice about attributes? Well, depending on what role you want, go ahead and focus on one attribute to do, and then the second one. Other than that, that's about it. Let's get to the next section. Now, for the next section, I'm going to cover the abilities/skills. I will not cover the civic ones. That's going to be its own section. Instead, I'll do the combat ones. As a very nice guy, I will definitely give you some nice suggested combinations. So let's go ahead and start with the first section right now. Now, these abilities aka skills, are in the different categories. One's is civil abilities, and the other one is combat abilities. I'll do the combat ones first. That's where towards the end of this section, I'll give you the combat abilities combinations you want. And the good news between the civil ones and the combat ones, they have their own leveling up schemes, so you don't have to panic about that. And let me go ahead and touch up on each one. Now, warfare will have to do with your melee weapons like two-handed weapons, one-handed weapons, also a board and shield or mason shield. Also, if you're dual wielding without daggers too, this is a very good skill to get. Now, huntsman, this will do with ranged weapons, doing ranged different type of damage. There are some good ranged skills in there, like for example, there's one that pierces through enemies' armor, which is very powerful, to even first aid, which you could heal your own self. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is Scoundrel. This will have to do with use of daggers, also setting up backstab attacks. So if you're behind a foe and use a Scoundrel skill, chances are, yeah, you get that nice backstab bonus, which is really good if you're a rogue type. This one is pyrokinetic. This has to deal with fire damage, fire magic. So if you'd like to burn things up, well, guess what? You'll really do some damage. Also, there's some nice setups for that. Now, next one is hydro. Yeah, this will have to deal with water damage. Also, water to heal too, which is really good. Plus, it heals magic armor too. So this is like a nice utility skill to use. And it's magic too, which is really good. So after this is arrow. Yeah, that's air magic. You have some nice buffs for that. Also, you have tornado, which is very powerful skill to use. You'll clear out bad environments, like for example, death fog. Yeah, and geomancer. This will heal your physical armor up. Plus, it will do earth damage. And here's one thing about geomancer: it has poison. Now, undead that cannot be healed by normal means, they have to be healed by poison. So, you poison undead, they get healed. So, if you have undead character, you better make sure someone's a geomancer. Now, necromancy, it's like magic, but it deals with physical damage. And necromancy has some pretty nice buffs too. You couple that, for example, with warfare, you're a lean, mean fighting machine. Plus, it has some nice, decent pets too to help you out along the way. Now, after necromancy, another one I'm going to go on the list is summoning. Yeah, you get to summon creatures. That's right. If you get summoning to 10, you summon a big daddy creature. Plus, summoning has some nice skills too, like for example, soulmate. So this way, for example, you soulmate undead, and you're living, you drink potions, you get healed, that undead takes damage. Same thing as undead soulmating a living. You drink a poison potion, they take poison damage. Really useful utility, and it's underrated. That's what people says. Now, polymorph, what you could do is do some crowd control. You could also get some abilities back. This is like a utility skill, I should say, more often. And it's not bad at all. It's pretty decent. Some builds are built by polymorph, or use parts of it at least. So we're going to go ahead in the next section, which has no special skill books are required, by the way, to get the skills. Now, single-handed weapons, if you're using a sword and board or something like that, or just a weapon in one hand, you do damage with that. More points in single-handed weapons, more damage you do with that. Now, I'll probably say for weapons in general, I'll probably say look for armor with that more often than the other skills. Now, two-handed, that means more points in the two-handed weapons, more damage you get to do with a two-handed weapon. It's really nice if you're going for the two-handed weaponness in this game. Like I said, with single-handed weapons, just look for armor with that. You'll do just fine. So let me go ahead and look at the next one. Range, that means more points in the range, more damage you get to do with a bow and arrow or a crossbow. Look for any crossbows or bow and arrows from time to time with range damage on it. Helps you out immensely. Now, last but not least, I'll probably say is if you definitely want to, if you're a rogue, dual wielding. So if you're more points in dual wielding, more damage you get to do. That's either with 2 daggers, 2 weapons, or 2 wands. Yeah, you can dual wield wands in this game, and it's pretty awesome, though. It's underrated, too. So let's go ahead and talk about the defensive side. Now, the next section is your defensive skills. Those are all right. Except for leadership, that's pretty good, but still defensive skills, look for items for that. Now, this one is retribution. You get the reflect damage. Pretty decent if you find any armor, I should say, with retribution. Definitely look for that in the if you're more of a tanking character. Now, after that is leadership. You get some nice buffs. The leader will definitely give the other characters this. Pretty good if you want to look for someone to set themselves up with 1-2 points in leadership. Then give them all the leadership items, which is pretty neat. Now, this one right here, this will give you X amount of magical armor and some other nice things. So this is like a decent defensive skill. Well, I'll probably say more tanks should definitely look for it. Yeah, look for any armor with that. I'm going to give everybody a suggestion on what 2 skills you want to combine. So here's this list right now. Warfare and Scoundrel, if you want to do some serious backstab damage with those 2 combinations. Warfare plus Pyrokinetics if you want some might and magic into your system. Warfare plus Necromancy if you want to use Necromancy skills to boost up that warfare damage. Also life drain too. Scoundrel plus Necromancy if you want to boost up your Scoundrel damage via Necromancy. Scoundrel plus Huntsman if you want that backstab bonus while you're at range. Now, Geomancer and Pyrokinetic if you want that earth and fire damage all rolled in one. Pyrokinetic plus Necromancy if you want some serious damage in that department. As for Geomancy plus Hydro if you want to become a healer to undead and the living. Hydro plus Arrow if you want to heal at the same time do some DPS. Huntsman plus Necromancy if you want to use Necromancy to boost up your Huntsman damage. Huntsman plus Summoner if you want to use your Summon to tank while you shoot from a distance. Summoner plus Pyrokinetic if you want to focus on more fire creatures you could create from your summonings. Summoner plus Necromancy if you want to make some blood creatures, which is very powerful by the way. Summoner plus Scoundrel if you want to use your summoning creature to tank while you backstab. Rest I'm going to let you discover on your own. On to the next section. Now, next up is the civil abilities. Yeah, these are definitely used outside combat, and they're a little bit different on a leveling scheme. I'll explain more on that when I get to the level up portion of the video. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the first one on the list, and that is telekinesis. Now, that is back from Divinity Original Sin 1, where you grab objects that are far, you can get to you that are near. More points into that, more range you could definitely do. This one's somewhat useful. I'd probably say is definitely look for items that has telekinesis instead of just wasting points into it. And that's about it. Now, Lore Master, this identify enemies and allows you also identify items. Increasing Lore Master allows you to identify items much more quicker. That's a very good thing. Losha has points into that. You have her, well, guess what? You just give her the items to identify, and that's it. Now, sneaking determines how well you can sneak around without getting caught. Now, this one's alright. I'll probably say out of 2 nasty abilities, I'm going to probably say is Thievery is your best bet. But still, if you want to do sneaking, go ahead. Now, Thievery improves your lockpicking skills, also to pickpocket too, which is good. So you can pickpocket or, unlock certain chests that are hard. Even doors, yeah. Later on when you get to a certain area, yeah, you can unlock doors. Now, bartering improves your haggling skills with each point invested. Traders will most likely go your way when you're selling or buying items. Pretty decent skill. Humans start out with 1 point. And let me go ahead and get the next one on the list. Persuasion. This one's really useful. You get to talk your way through it. I'm going to say this right now. Definitely the skill you want to get. You talk your way out of trouble, talk your way into things you want to definitely do. I'll probably say is, yeah, have your leader with persuasion. Couple that with Pet Pal, he's really good. Now, Lucky Charm, you'll randomly find items from certain containers, etc. This one's a decent skill to good depending on how many points you put into it. If Hand has more points in that, of course. So other than that, that's it for your civil abilities. One advice is make sure your leader has persuasion, so this way you get through the game pretty well on the talking side. Now, next up is the skills you actually start out with from your presets. I'm going to say this right now to everybody. Do not panic at all. Do not fret. There'll be like a certain set of skills you start out with you get to choose from. Good news is you learn them from books and quests. So guess what? You do not have to worry at all. Even though you learn this from a book, it costs you gold. Now, great news is crafting. You could craft certain books too, which is wonderful. Other than that, pick the ones you feel that is tailored to your style and your preset. Yeah, see, this is what you're looking at with this preset with necromancy and warfare. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the next section. Now, next up on the list is talents. That's right, certain points of leveling. Once in a while, you get points to put into talents that can help you out offensively, defensively, or anything else. I'm going to give everybody one straight advice. If you're a leader or your main character, your first talent should be Pet Pal. You're asking, why should I put a talent point into that? That is very simple. You're a leader, you're going to use Persuade. You might have to persuade some animals to go your way. And yes, Pet Pal will allow you to definitely get quests. So yeah, I've advised definitely doing that. Other than that, just put points in the talents that feels tailoring to your playstyle or your certain characters. Like for example, look for more warrior talents if you're playing a warrior. So, what is the importance of tags in the game? Well, mainly for conversations. That's what it's important about. So, for example, if you're like a barbarian, when you talk to someone, you'll definitely speak like a barbarian. That might get you into trouble, might not get you into trouble. So, my advice on tags is just pick the one that tailors to your play style. And yes, there are hidden tags later on you could definitely earn. Look out for those. Now, the instrument part is just like for flavor, so I'm going to go ahead and give some final advice in character creation. Tailor to your style you want to play. If you want to become a mage, a pyro mage, go ahead and do that. If you want to become a warrior, definitely go for that. If you want to do some range damage, go for this too. And also for your party members, when you pick up, fill in any holes you want to do. I'll explain more on that, so let's get to the next section of the video. Let me go ahead and give you some very important advice. Save your game often. Just trust me. Save before combat. Save before a huge conversation. Save before you think you're going to do something stupid or reckless. Just remember, save, save, save. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to have to go back to a certain point that you really don't want to do. So just remember, save your game. Now, for the next portion of the video, I'm going to go ahead and speak about the UI, aka the user interface. Do not panic. It does not look daunting at all. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the left side, which is the party. Yeah, that's your party members' portraits, hit points, etc. Also, what kind of buffs / debuffs they have on them too. You can link them, you can unlink them, which is really useful. They brought that back from Divinity Original Sin 1. Also, you can interact with the environment too, which is part of the UI, which is very good. So I'm going to go over each step of the UI, and let's get to the very first one right now. Alright, for the first one is your option menu. You could get your gift bag rewards, save your game, load your game, go in the option menu, quit, go back into the main menu, also, or better yet, return to the game, aka resume. You could be spending a lot of time here on the saving part or the loading part, depending on how much trouble you get into. Next part is your inventory screen, which is also your stat screens you get to look at. Check out how much resistance you have, your character's abilities, civil abilities, talents, and tags on the left side. Also, you can select your party members individually too. On the right is your inventory part where you should get to hold things depending on how much weight you could hold. If you go over it, you might move slow to not moving at all, so just definitely be careful. Your gold's there too in your inventory. Now this is your abilities or / skill book. So this way you can learn something new, or you could replace some in case you have too much skills. So just manage your skills very wisely. You can select party members individually for that, which is very good. Now, next portion is your crafting menu. You could do is your craft from recipes that you find along the way, or craft things yourself. So it's not that hard at all. I'll do my best to go into greater detail on crafting and what's a good way to start out on the crafting system. Also, you get to put runes there too, and yes, runes can be very powerful later on. So start stocking up on the some decent ones to some best ones. So next up is your map. This is also where you can access your journal. You can fast travel to certain locations. The map is really useful. You could definitely help you out on that. You can also put custom waypoints there too. Now next up is your journal. And yes, the journal will tell you where your quests are and also what's going on through the entire story. So if you need to look for something to do, use your journal. It'll help you out big time. And this is also where you get to access tutorials too and more. Now, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the hotbar. This is where you can put certain skills there, items and potions and etc., which is really good. And one thing about the hotbar is there's a total of 5 of them, so you can put a whole bunch of things there. You can put all potions on one, all magic on another, all healing, all scrolls on another one. It's really good. So the UI is friendly, really easy to use. That is it for this portion of the video. I'm going to go ahead and advance towards the next one. Now, in Divinity Original Sin 2, there are 2 different types of protection, physical armor and magical armor. You lose either one of those, then you're down to your hit points. Once your hit points go to 0, you're dead. Only way to get revived is a scroll or other means. So I'm going to go over every one of them right now. Now, your first one is your physical armor. That is the bar I am pointing to. Protects against physical attacks. Once your physical armor is gone, then physical debuffs can happen to you. So look for armor that has physical armor on it, which is really good. Next up is your magical armor. That's the blue bar. More magical armor you have, more protection against magic. You lose all your magical armor, then you can get magical debuffs against you. For example, fire. So be careful on that. And last but not least, like I said before, is your hit points. Your hit points go down to 0. You gotta resurrect yourself. So be careful on this. Now, for the next portion of the video, I'm going to talk about is buffs and debuffs. So definitely look out for those. And here we go in this section. Now, here's the debuffs. Asset loses physical armor per turn. Bleed deals piercing damage. That means it'll skip the 2 armors and go straight to hit point damage. Be careful on that. Blind, reduced range, and no attacks of opportunity. Burning deals fire damage per turn. Now, if you have magical armor, you'll do fine. Other than that, watch out for that too. Let's go to the next section. Now, first one is charm. In other words, party members will attack another party member, whoever is charmed, so be careful on that. Chill, take more water damage. And set up frozen. Frozen stops you in your place for 1 or 2 turns. Curse lowers your resistance, dodge, and accuracy. I'm going to go ahead and do this section. So here we go. Cripple lowers movement and cannot use movement skills. Decay, healing now damages you. Frighten, you run away from foes. Muted, unable to use skills and spells. I'm going to let you all discover the rest, so do be careful. Now on to the next section is buffs. Now the next one is bless, high resistance, dodge, and accuracy. This is like an opposite to curse. Courage, constitution goes up. Fortify, physical armor increases and immune to teleport. Haste, higher movement, +1 to start AP, and +1 AP recovering per round. Now, healing means restores hit points per round. Invisible to foes unless you do an action. Magic shell means magical armor increase. Soulbound, pet gives you more magical armor, physical armor, hit points, and damage when you summon one. The rest I am going to let you all discover. On to the next section of the video. Now, in Divinity Original Sin 2, especially the Definitive Edition, you definitely want to explore around. Now, when you use the Alt key, you can highlight items. You can pick it up. Pick up items easy. Same thing as looting. So, explore everywhere. So, watch out for containers are red. That means someone else owns it. So, be careful on what you do loot. You also discover things by talking to it too. And talking to people. Yeah, always talk to people. That is very important. You also could shop from with the little money icon that's on the right of the character you're talking to's portrait. Other than that, just make sure you always make a save sometimes when you talk to people, because they might tell you different things if you pick different choices. Other than that, explore, explore, explore. Here's how the shop system works. So if you want to sell something, go ahead and place it on the left hand corner of the screen. That's underneath the what I call scales of balance. On the right, if you want to buy something, put that there. Use the scales of balance to even things out. If you want to go ahead and give things, that's all right too. However, you lose money, but you gain like a nice reputation with that merchant. Now, you're asking, how do I learn a skill? Now, here's the thing. When you look at a skill book, you look over the requirements. If you have the requirements, you could definitely learn. You see, my main guy could not learn first aid. Now, Ifan, he has Huntsman 1. He could definitely learn first aid. Double click on the book or hit a certain key on the consoles, depending on what button you push, and you learn the skill. After that, go into your skill book, switch out which one you don't want to use. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. Select first aid. Hit that. Now you can definitely cast that. So remember, be careful on also casting in town, because some people do not like that at all. Other than that, it's really easy, the shop system. So I'm going to go to the next portion of the video. Now let's go over the party system and how many you could have. Total you could have in a party, including yourself, is 4. Now there's a total of 6 characters you can recruit during the course of the game. Now, after Fort Joy, in a certain part, when you get your own ship, what will happen is the ones that you didn't take with you, you're not going to be able to recruit. The other ones you get to definitely recruit with you. You're asking, I don't like these characters. Can I create a custom one? Oh, yes, you can. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now. So, you do not like the pre-made party members? Well, guess what? If you have the gold, you could make your own custom ones, just like you. She'll give you a template on what you want. However, it will cost you some gold. So keep this in mind. I'm going to probably say first time use the pre-made ones. And then if you're doing more playthroughs, go ahead and use custom party members. Other than that, it's a very good system, the party system. We're going to get to the next part of the video. So here is the big and burning question for this video. Can I respec my characters? Absolutely. Once you do get the control of the ship, you see this mirror. I am zooming in and out. This is where you can respec your characters. As long as you remove certain skills, you can respect it from one tree to another. So for example, you're tired of being a necromancer, right? And you want to change into pyromancer, so simply go ahead and click on the mirror. We'll do that now. We're back in the character creation screen on the character we're respecing, so we'll go over here and do some switcheroos. So we're going to go ahead and take out, let's see here, necromancy, and put in the pyromancy. Great news about that is it does not cost a thing. As long as you have access to the ship, you could do this freely, so remember that. Also, when you do this, just be careful. You don't want to go from one extreme to another. Instead, if you want to change it to, say, a hydromancer instead of an aeromancer, well, just make sure one of your party members is that too. Also, good news is you could do talents and more. So, if you don't feel like the character you like, respec freely. That's about it, really. Now, combat can be easy or hard depending on how you tackle it. Sometimes the environment, when you explore, you get into combat. Other times, when you talk to someone, they want to kill you. So if you're in a situation where you talk your way, you can't get out of it, you're forced to fight, always look for your environment. Now, if you're exploring, you see enemies up ahead, watch out for their range. So I'm going to say this right now, get the lay of the land. That's right, get the lay of the land. Put your range characters like someone using a bow, crossbow, and your magic users at a higher place. The old saying goes, I have the high ground. Well, guess what? When you have the high ground, you do more damage. You always want to put your melees in the low ground, so this way they'll be the distraction. What I'm doing right now is separating Sibyl, so this way she can set up backstabs while my main guy's just there to draw attention. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and initiate combat. You always want to be the one who starts it, unless, of course, it's a talking situation. So combat starts. Now, your enemies will have magical armor. physical armor, and hit points. And this thing is turn-based, so that's the good news. Right now it's my turn, and I'm going to do is either move or wait. So let me see what's up. So when you do end turn, whatever points you didn't use, they get stored. 6 is the total cap, so remember that. Right now it's the enemy's turn, is throwing things at you. Watch out for environmental damage, so if oil gets to fire, yeah, you'll take some extra damage. I'll explain more on that more later on. So now it's Iffan's turn, and I'm just knocking its physical armor off. So once the physical armor of this gator creature is off, that means I could do physical damage and debuffs. Now, since this creature has no magical armor, well, guess what? I can freeze him with Lotia, so that's a good thing. And remember, skills are on timers, so be careful on that. Other than that, know when to fight, know when to go somewhere else, then return later to fight. And if you do win, you do get experience points and loot. And you can also level up on certain battles too, depending on how far your experience bar goes from the left to the right. I'm going to get to the next section, which is leveling up. So when you do level up, you get 2 attribute points plus 1 combat point always. Other times you get a civil point or a talent point. And then in other cases, they'll toss in both a civil point and a talent point, which are regular 2 attribute points and combat point. So here's the deal. If you mess up on leveling, you could go back and respec once you do get the ship. And that's about it briefly for the level up system. So remember to get that experience point by questing and combating. In Divinity Original Sin 2, especially the Definitive Edition, you can use the environment to your advantage, or if you get stuck in a disadvantage, you gotta be careful on that. So, for example, if you see an oil field, you definitely want to put that on fire, especially see a poison cloud. You definitely want to put that on fire. So I'm gonna go right now and show you all the list of combinations you could do for more damage. Here's a few good combinations I'll just show. For example, oil plus fire equals a fire surface, blood plus water equals a frozen surface, water plus shock equals a frozen electric surface, poison plus fire explodes. So I'll let you all discover the rest on your own. That's it for the environment. I'm going to get to the next portion of the video. Now, crafting can be really easy. You could either use 2 ingredients you find in the world and combine them. If they're the right combination, well, they're added to the recipe. Or you could go ahead and read some books, and then when you find the recipe, you could click the recipe section and craft what you need as long as you have enough materials. So crafting is really easy and simple to do. So you can either combine them or do what I'm doing right now, is use what I just found. We'll combine this to make ourselves a nice potion, and there you go. We made ourselves a nice magical potion. Now we're going to do a physical potion. So I'm going to do for the next section, give everybody some starter ones to do when you start out in this game. The rest I'll let you all go ahead and discover on your own. Now, bowl plus long branch equals improvised shovel. You definitely want one of these. Leather scraps plus rope equals a backpack. Needle plus needle equals lockpicks. Let's get to the next section. While penny button mushroom plus empty potion bottle equals minor healing potion. Amador plus empty potion bottle equals physical armor potion. Now, flight agardic mushroom plus empty potion bottle is a minor poison potion, great for undead. Whisper wood plus empty potion bottle equals magic armor potion. The rest I'll let you all discover. In Divinity Original Sin 2, there are quests you could do, and some of these quests does have consequences because of your choice you made. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and show you all a simple quest that later on will be a consequence in this chapter where I'm at, Driftwood. So it's really easy to talk to an NPC, just keep on talking to him, and eventually you'll get this update. When you see that, I mean there's a quest there. So we're just going to go ahead and speed through that. We gave the gold, so what we're going to do right now is look at the journal, which is this one right here. It tells us it's not complete yet, so what we're going to do is go ahead, use our character with Pet Pal, and speak with the dog. Yes, even your choices with animals have consequences, so do be careful, either if it's humanoid or an animal. So remember this. So Now what we did was is remove the collar, the hurt part off the dog, and we got ourselves some experience points because of that. Now what we could do is go ahead and mess with the bum who's been hurting the dog. So we're gonna go ahead and get some payback. So we're now talking to the formerly dog owner. That's right. Since we cured the dog and the dog ran away from its mean master, what you could do is extract money from him, and of course you can extract all, none, or half of it, or whatever. So here's the deal. That won't come back to haunt us. However, what we did for the dog that helped out will come back to help us big time. Now, other times when you wrong someone in this game, they might come back later on if they escape from you. Or if you make a wrong choice, they might come back and try to kill you. So just remember, you could do quests, and some quests does have consequences because of your choice. It's a good thing because you always want a game that has choice like that. I'm going to go ahead and give everybody some final advice. Advice number one, think outside the box when you do combat. Before you start combat, separate your characters. Try to keep the high ground, and also use the environment. They'll help you out immensely. Know your combinations. So, for example, if you want to drop down oil and then drop down fire, go ahead and do it for more fire damage. If you're in a situation where you're forced into combat, don't panic at all. Always make a save because you may never know. Save often, save early. If not, you might get thrown somewhere else. Make sure you, when you do crafting, know what to craft. And another tip about crafting too is if you have, for example, 2 minor potions, go ahead and combine those. You get something better. Always upgrade your weapons and armor, and know what kind of weapons and armor your characters can equip. So, for example, if you have a scoundrel character, look for finesse armor and the finesse stats. And do many quests as possible. This game is really fun. Be careful of your actions because it might either help you later on or hurt you. Other than that, just enjoy the game, have fun. This is a total blast of a game. Well, everyone, this is it from my Don't Panic series, Divinity Original Sin 2 New Player Video Guide. This is Lord Fenton signing off. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day or night. Please stay safe. Please subscribe to my channel for more Divinity Original Sin 2 content like this. If you do like what you see, check out the upper right hand corner videos for my suggestion, on the lower right hand corner for a video suggestion from YouTube. Thank you for watching, everyone, and have a wonderful day or night.